feet and make some noise. It's time to rise up and join the rebellion with Tyson Smith.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 18, I believe, of The Rebellion. I'm your host, Tyson Smith, and today we have on somebody who I've been doing a lot of business with, the fucking best marketer I know personally. We got Majixkai. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, man. Just excited to be here. Dude,
me too, man. So, guys, Majixkai has been, like, instrumental in the growth we've had in my wholesale business this year. He's been doing a ton of marketing. So generating leads for our wholesale business, all digital marketing. I wasn't even sure exactly because I thought you were doing PPC leads at first.
Right.
I wasn't even sure what exactly you were doing.
No, I wasn't.
But
believe it or not.
Yeah, but you started sending us these leads. Basically, you came to us and you're like, "Hey, like, look, I'm good at marketing. I'm good at running digital ads. Let me run some ads for you guys. You guys close them. If you do, give me a percentage. Let's see if we can make some money." Okay, cool. Let's do it. And you started sending leads over, and now we're closing them like what, 1 in 10, 1 in 11?
1 in 11, yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So some fucking pretty crazy, yeah. And we're like, oh shit, all right, this is badass. So Majixkai, I'm really excited. I want to learn all about how you've gotten to that point. You're doing that, where you kind of came into this new, because you never ran wholesaling ads before.
No, I mean, been like 4 months now, but
yeah, but in the beginning it was because you'd obviously had experience running ads before, but not specifically for this niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, I want to hear about how your education of how you got to the point, because I know that you've obviously been in all kinds of different courses and masterminds. Like, I feel like we probably have a very similar arc as far as education goes, like self-educating ourselves through different people and stuff we found on the internet, and then just like taking action on it. But you're doing that. Majixkai is also running my ads for Wholesaling 101 that just came out. So, guys, if you haven't already, we launched a new community called Wholesaling 101, where we are showing people step-by-step how to wholesale real estate. Guys, this is everything I've learned for the past 2.5 years, almost like $200,000 spent on courses, masterminds, mentorships, everything. I've condensed it all into a way where anybody can learn my processes and go out and get a wholesale deal. It's all my proven processes. You get weekly calls with me where I will be able to answer any questions you have and make sure you're on the right track. You also get access to our community. Our community is full of people who are all like-minded, who are out there chasing wholesale deals. We got a ton of like players in there who really know what they're doing. As well as right now we're offering a bonus where we get 10,000 free skip trace motivated leads. Guys, everything. So guys, Wholesaling 101 is $69 a month. And just from my processes, the calls, and the free list of leads you get, you should be able to take that information and go make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 next month just by taking action. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and hit the link in my bio and go to Wholesaling 101, and there you can learn some more information. But Majixkai is helping me do the marketing for this. So this is a really interesting experience for me because I've never ran any kind of paid ads before.
Right.
And so I've been working with him, and I was kind of like, I didn't know where to start. Like, I was like, all right, dude, what do I need to make in the ads and everything? And you've kind of been walking me through it all.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a learning process for sure, especially when you first try doing it, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts for sure.
Definitely. Well, so when I was in Grant Cardone's office a few months ago, one thing he was talking about was his ads, and he kind of went through this list, and he said the first thing when you look at an ad is it needs to be for you. And what I mean by this is going to be your representation to a lot of people. People are going to see this, and yes, a lot of it will be to your existing audience or whatever, but people outside are going to see this, and this is going to be your introduction. So it needs to be something that you want to showcase yourself to others, right? It's helping build your reputation. And that's something that I thought was, really like stuck well with me. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's super true. I mean, a lot of people will go into making ads and like try to be super professional sometimes. But honestly, I think what performs the best nowadays is being more real with the audience that you're targeting, right? You'll see a lot of influencers, a lot of gurus online. They're always doing the same thing. They're pulling up in a nice car, or like they're on some vacation or something like that. But honestly, the only ads I click on are the ones where I feel like the person's legit and being real on camera.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah.
And look, here's the thing is I used to hate commercials, right? Like on TV. But it's because commercials were like, they were casting such a wide net, right? But now ads have gotten so much better where like the ones that I'm being shown are the ones that I need or like want. Like it's funny, I launched this program and all of a sudden now I'm getting all kinds of ads of people who are like, I can help you scale your coaching business. Like all of this, it's like so accurately targeted that I'm seeing stuff all the time. I'm like, shit, man, I kind of want that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of scary how good the algorithm's gotten over time. Like when I first started marketing, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's crazy, especially with other platforms like TikTok. And then I think Meta is starting to catch on to that way the algorithm performs. And ever since TikTok started blowing up, I noticed the algorithm on Facebook and Instagram has started to like even get better and crazier, which is interesting. But I like it too because I'm seeing stuff I like.
Let me ask you, dude, do you think that the phones like listen to you? Like, because have you ever been like talking, you know, have that thing where you have a conversation with somebody and you like say like, oh yeah, man, I'd be really interested in golfing Pebble Beach or whatever. And all of a sudden you're getting ads for like trips to go golf Pebble Beach. You know what I'm talking about?
100%. Your phone's 100% listen to you.
Yeah.
It even says it in the privacy policy in Apple's documents, but I'm pretty sure Apple shares a lot of that information. The apps themselves also have a some sort of policy where when you download them, they're allowed to, I don't want to say hijack, but like use your phone's recording, your audio. I don't know about camera, but like what I think the future, I think the cameras will start to see our facial expressions while we're scrolling.
Oh, so they can really know.
They know if you really like something.
Wow.
And I don't know if they're doing that right now, but that's my theory on where it's going.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, with like Elon Musk talking about how he wants to get, you know, brain implants and stuff like that, that takes it to a whole different level where technology will be reading our minds.
What do you think about the Neuralink, the brain implants?
Oh man, I'm still trying to, I don't know. It's just such a crazy concept, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I would have never thought that would be in my lifetime.
Oh no, right.
That's just like
that's like crazy. That's out there.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I think there'll be some benefits to it. I think it'll make things really efficient, especially when we're working. I mean, not having to use a keyboard or a mouse, like your thoughts direct the flow of your workflow, which is really crazy to think about. But in terms of privacy and stuff, like I don't know, there's gonna have to be some regulations, I think.
Definitely.
If, you know, technology has access to our minds, we
Everything.
lost all privacy.
Right. Well,
everything.
and also, when does it then have like control of yourself? Your body's controlled by your mind. So like, but here's my thing,
true.
dude. If you put a chip in my brain and all of a sudden I know how to speak French and I can do kung fu and shit, give me that chip. I want that chip right now.
Yeah,
like
there's that too. That's why there's a lot of pros and cons. I mean, with everything. But this is just like new frontier.
It definitely is going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, will you tell me how you got your start into marketing?
Well, how long do you want me to make this?
Dude, give me all of it, bro. I want to know. If it starts from childbirth, then
oh shit,
you let me
I won't
know.
go that far back. That could take a long time. But to sum it up, I mean, I was in college. I was going to a community college. I always did bad in school. I wasn't interested in school at all. I was interested in making money because I knew that's what was going to help me live the life I wanted. And they don't talk about that in school, right? So I was pretty disinterested in all the other subjects. And then my sophomore year came around and I was studying to maybe be a marine biologist because, you know, I love the ocean. I'm a surfer. I love doing, you know, or spending time in the ocean. But I still was like, this is going to take a long time. I'm broke right now. Like, I can't do anything I want right now except go to school and work, which I was working at a hardware store.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So on my breaks, I was starting to watch YouTube, and I was seeing one day, like, some kid showed up with an ad targeting me, and he was, I think his name was Sebastian Gorju. He's actually here locally, but yeah, I saw his ad, and he was some 18-year-old kid making $100,000 a month or something crazy. I don't even know the amount, but I was like, holy shit, like. And in the video, he actually said, look, if someone like me can do this, like, you can too. And I was like, interesting. Like, what is this all about? So then I started learning about e-commerce and marketing and, like, that's when I started my own drop shipping store.
Okay, so it all started really with drop shipping.
It did.
Okay.
Yeah, drop shipping. And so many things were happening in that point in time. Like my girlfriend and I broke up. At the time I was living at her parents' house, so I moved back to my mom's house. I was down bad. I got fired from the hardware store because I was taking too long on my breaks watching YouTube videos. Yeah. And then I ended up working at this restaurant, bussing tables, super broke. I was like, I need to make this work.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And I don't know if I just got lucky or if I just applied the knowledge really well that I was learning on YouTube, but I launched this product, and within like 3 months, I did like 6 figures.
Really?
Yeah. I scaled the ads just aggressively, and I was using my personal credit card and everything.
Okay, so with this first store you launched, were you running paid ads for it?
Yeah,
okay.
100% just Facebook ads.
Gotcha. And you were just you're putting them on credit, the ads.
Yeah, I was using my personal credit card. I had a $1,000 credit limit. I had to pay it off like multiple times a day because I was spending so much on ads.
No way.
Yeah, and I don't know what the banks never said anything to me, but I was running it, and then I talked to an accountant. He's like, "You need to stop doing that. Like, you're gonna get in trouble." I was like, "Oh shit, really?"
All right.
Yeah, so that's how that happened.
So the first store pops off.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the experience you got from running those ads was pretty priceless as well.
Yeah, I actually hired like a personal mentor who was also good at e-commerce and Facebook ads.
How'd you find the mentor?
I don't remember. I think I was following someone who mentioned him.
Okay.
And mentioned how he was hiring him.
Okay.
As a mentor.
So you hired this person. You reached out and you're like, "Hey, can I pay you to show me what the hell's going on?"
Yeah, pretty much. And he just taught me how to scale them profitably. It was actually not very complex, but yeah, there were certain things that didn't make any sense, that how the algorithm worked. Like there's certain things in scaling on Facebook that aren't intuitive.
Yeah. Just kind of you got to know.
You just got to know, yeah.
Right. Well, okay, here's the thing, bro. A lot of things, like, so when me and you were going through the, because Majixkai was coming through my Facebook or my Meta business account and the TikTok account, and I'm starting to look at all this stuff, and I was like, none of this seems very intuitive whatsoever. Like, this shit is complicated.
Yeah, they don't really make it that user-friendly.
Yeah. Okay, so this guy helps you out. What's next? Are you still drop shipping? Are you trying new stores or?
Well, what happened was I was working with a supplier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting greedy because one product popped off. I'm like, all right, let's start launching some new products here.
Yeah.
I was drop shipping from AliExpress, which anyone who's listening to this and knows about e-com knows, like, there's some things to look out for. But I didn't know anything. I was 19 years old. And so I worked with this one supplier for these like waterproof like earphones, like these little AirPod type of things. And I had a whole bunch of orders for it. But then like 2 months later, I found out that the supplier wasn't shipping any of them out.
So you just you're like, okay, like I'm getting orders and then I'm fulfilling it through because I've done some like drop shipping, but it's being fulfilled and I'm paying for them, but none of them are getting shipped.
Yeah, so I paid for all the marketing. I paid for all the product that never shipped. And then on top of that, all my customers were mad. So I had a refund for that.
Ooh.
So it took me out again. And I was like, okay, I need to like start learning from my mistakes here and like maybe do something else. And that's when I found out I can do marketing for like businesses. Mm-hmm. And I took a guy named Billy Wilson, who he'll probably see this if I post this, but he had this like course and he was doing really well just marketing for like local businesses.
Okay.
And I learned from him.
So you go to what? Let's say a little local plumber or a pizza shop, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna run ads on your behalf.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So So I mean, that took me down the line to investing in a different program that was much more high level. It was called Agency Lab, ran by Joel Kaplan, and I learned so much from that like I was confident doing lead gen almost anything.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, right after that, I chose a different niche. I was at first I was doing lead gen for like all these different types of niches, like gyms and yoga studios and like all these random niches. And then I found insurance, and insurance was really easy to get leads for, specifically for Medicare.
Okay.
Which was really weird, but I ended up scaling up, an agency with bunch of insurance agents and agencies in the Medicare space.
Yeah. So you just reach out directly to these agents, like, hey, I can provide leads for you?
Yeah, I mean, I ran my own Facebook ads to get clients from them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got a whole bunch of people booking appointments in my calendar, and then I was running leads for them.
And is that what you were doing when we first met? Because I remember you telling me that, yeah, I'm like running.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And now are you still doing any of that, or like?
I have some fairly large clients in that space that are just, they just need a lot of leads, so they hit me up. But I wasn't really interested in the niche at all.
Yeah.
And it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
So that's what. Yeah.
It is a little insurance, Medicare, bro. I'm kind of falling asleep.
Yeah, dude. Literally, I went to this event and everyone was over 65.
Oh yeah.
And I was the only 20-year-old in that whole building. And there was like 1,000 people there.
Okay.
So I was like, real estate might be where it's at.
Yeah. So, because you had known about wholesaling, right? You had heard about it or something, and then I don't know how we met. Something, a TikTok video or something, but me and Majixkai ended up working out together, and he was kind of telling me about what he was doing, and he's like, "Yeah, I can generate leads like a motherfucker." And then you ended up getting in contact with Mitchell, and it was like, let's see what we can do here. Let's run some leads, and then if you're not in wholesaling, I guess you don't realize, but 1 in 11 leads to deal is like pretty fucking crazy. Like to give you guys into to put this into perspective, what we were doing before was all cold calling leads. So the industry average in cold calling is it takes 70 leads to turn into one signed contract. Now, we were probably closer to 50, but still, that means that we need. So the way this works is we pull data, we send it over to our cold callers who are in the Philippines. They're dialing these people, and what we're looking for are people who say, yes, I'm interested to sell, and then maybe answer a couple more questions. We count that as a lead. So we need that to happen 70 times in order to get one deal. Now, in addition to that, the industry average on cold call leads is that from the time they enter the system, so from the time that your Filipino VA has a conversation with them, they say, yes, I'm interested in selling, and then that gets transferred over into our system, it takes from that point 15 days before that lead is contracted. With Majixkai's leads, that number, for instead of it taking 70 leads to turn into a deal, now it's 11 leads to turn into a deal. The average from when the lead comes into the system to when we have it under contract is 2 days. So where it would take a salesperson 2 weeks of working a lead to get a deal, it's now taking them 2 days. So when you start to look at the power of inbound marketing, it's so much more scalable and just better for several different reasons. Number one, your salespeople are going to be a lot happier. I know that my salespeople, so Majixkai just walked in, they all fucking love this guy. They're like, oh, here's some motherfucker, right? They love this guy because now they're closing deals all over the place, whereas it used to be so much harder. Yeah. In addition to that, with cold calling, in order to scale it up, it's, okay, you pull more data, you hire more cold callers. There's a lot more friction in doing that, of like hiring, managing, training a cold caller than it is with what you're doing, where it's like, let's just spend more money, right? Because with scaling cold calling, it's the same thing. Yes, we have to spend more money to hire, whatever. But here it's just like, we pump more money into this. We give more money to this guy, and all of a sudden more leads are coming in.
Yeah, it's like a money printing machine.
Right.
Almost.
So this kind of started off as sort of an experiment for you. It's like, hey, let's see if this works.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now since then you have reached out and worked with other wholesalers and people who are, you provide them with leads and they're closing them.
Yeah, I've worked with a few wholesalers. I honestly have been keeping this small because what's the point of working with 20 different wholesalers making the same amount, whereas you can work with one who's the best?
Yeah.
But I guess it's all personal preference.
Well, I mean, do you have plans to kind of like open it up? Like if somebody was listening to this and they were like, damn, I'm liking what Tyson's saying over there. How do I get me some of these Majixkai leads?
Right. Well, I have opened it up to people who have their systems dialed down. Yeah. I'm not going to send leads to people who don't know what they're doing because, you know, then they're going to complain and say my leads are shit.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, because here's the thing is, number one, people don't understand this, but leads and data and that's very expensive. Like, it's an investment you have to make.
Right.
And if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to get a return.
Exactly.
Whereas, so if you have some person who comes in and maybe a beginner and they buy some leads from you, and then like you send over the leads, they call it a week after it comes in, and then they already sold it and like, yo, these leads are shit.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe one of the reasons why our company does so well with your leads is we have a like rigorous culture of speed to lead, of like when a lead comes in, we want to be on the phone with them as soon as possible. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's 7 o'clock on a Friday or if it's 6 a.m. Like, we are calling that lead. Like, the moment, and now obviously, because leads will come in at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Obviously, we're not calling those right away.
Yeah.
But we even have systems set in place to where even though we're not answering the phone, somebody is calling them somewhere that's, you know, at least being like, hey, we're going to get in contact with you. When's the best time? Let's set up an appointment, right? Things of that nature.
Yeah, that's very needed for sure.
Yeah, like
a lot of people don't have that.
Okay, but here's the thing. You got to look at, like, especially in our space, like wholesaling, right?
Yeah.
So if you're somebody and all of a sudden you have a pre-foreclosure, you're in pre-foreclosure and your house is being foreclosed on in 3 weeks, you're going to go on your computer and you're going to Google or whatever, how to sell my house fast or whatever it is. They're scrolling through Instagram and all of a sudden they see your ad and it's, hey, do you need to sell your house fast? Whatever it is. They click on it and they fill out their information. But then there's a gap there of like, what happens, right? It's like, hey, like, stand by. Somebody's going to be reaching out to you or you're going to get an offer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But now this thought's in their mind. So what's to stop them then from going to Google and how to sell my house fast? And now all of a sudden they're calling them.
Right.
And then they're just going down the list.
Right.
I know for me, any single time I'm looking for something like that, I just start calling down. If somebody doesn't answer, I'm calling the next.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through and doing that, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be the person who capitalizes on that moment. I call it like lightning in a bottle. Like when somebody's ready to make that decision and they're ready to make, like, it's not a purchasing decision, but you know what I'm saying? Because they're selling.
Yeah.
When they're ready to make that decision, you need to capitalize on that right away.
100%. Yeah, a lot of people neglect that. And I'm like, it blows my mind because I'm like, you have people literally asking to sell their property to you. Why would you not try to hit them up as soon as possible?
And like, this is like the whole way you make money is by buying property. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of people just don't realize like how much it actually matters.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Like, I think we're setting up our system so we can get better data on this, but I think it's gonna be very interesting to see once we can, like, what the percentage of closed deals are, like at different drop-off points of, like, I want to see the threshold of when we reach out to leads within 5 minutes of them entering, what are our chances of closing versus 7.5 minutes versus 10 minutes. Like, I bet the drop-off is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, they already have data on this too. Like, you can look up online, like drop-off rate from after a person signs up a form to get contacted, and it's like exponentially.
Yeah.
I mean, even after I think a couple days or even one day, I think was like 80-something% less likely to answer their phone at all going forward after that.
Which and people are gonna think this is crazy because they're gonna be like, well, oh, if they didn't do that after, then they don't want it. But you don't realize it's just that's not how people make decisions.
Yeah,
people get into a mindset and it's all emotional, and it's like they're ready to pull the trigger on something where something completely crazy, random can happen 5 minutes later that'll turn that off.
Right. I mean, it could be even something like not even random. Like, it could literally just be like, oh, like I'm watching a video now on YouTube. Like, I don't even want to answer this phone call.
Yeah.
Like, it could be that fast. So that's why, yeah, super important to do
Speed
that.
is important. I mean, that's my, like, for people who like are wholesaling, whatever, like they've gotten deals, they're past, like, they're just trying to get their first deal stage. The best piece of advice that I always give to them is you need to figure out how long it's taking you to contact new leads and figure out a way how to cut that in half.
Yeah.
Because that alone right there is going to, make your business be so much better.
For sure. I mean, even if you were able to double the rate of people answering their phones, like, you're essentially doubling how much money you'll make.
Yeah, and just like your amount of money spent to get those leads, like you're just taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it all trickles down.
Right.
Yeah.
Which another thing is with that, a piece of advice I want to give that I think is super helpful for people who are still cold calling is one thing that we were doing in the beginning is basically our cold caller speaking to them. They find a lead. It's like, okay, hey, listen, we got this information, whatever. We confirm their contact information. Yeah. Well, we're going to have a home buying specialist give you a call shortly. Hang up the phone. And then the information comes in our system here, and then we call them up. Which, instead of doing that, we're like, okay, wait. Because we were having a huge problem of all of a sudden we try to call those people, and even if it was 5 minutes after, we couldn't get them on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were just sitting in like this like uncontacted bucket where they had said to somebody that they wanted to sell, but then we were never able to get a hold of them.
Right.
And what we did to fix this was we just changed it to a live transfer, where it was once they got on the phone, it's like, hey, I'm going to transfer you directly to a home buying specialist who will take care of you, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're closing way more deals, and we have way less leads that are just not being wasted.
That's
like
crazy. It's just one little thing.
Well, here's the thing that I found about like hiring mentors and stuff is like as I get more and more experience in this industry, it's more and more little things like that I'm looking for. Just these tiny little dials we can turn that are gonna, increase our business. It's not these large sweeping changes we make anymore.
Right. I mean, exactly. I mean, even Alex Hermosa talks about this a lot. Like the tiniest difference sometimes in the top of the funnel can make just you so much more money.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Dude, Alex Hermosi. So I don't know if I told you this, but like, so I knew who Alex Hermosi was. Like, I just content and stuff. I was just always coming in, and he had some stuff I liked, and like, I didn't really have a strong opinion about him. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, oh yeah, he's a big internet guru. Like, and he was jacked, so like, I liked that about him. But when I was telling you about wholesaling 101 that I was making at the time. And so guys like Majixkai, like I said, he's the best marketer I know. So I was always calling him, asking for advice and bouncing ideas off of him. And you told me, you're like, you need to read $100 million Offers by Alex Hermosi. And he's like, this will answer all your questions. And I was like, all right. And just literally, because I was driving home from the office, and I was like, all right, I'm changing. I'm going to Barnes & Noble. I'm going to go buy it right now.
Yeah, you were on it.
Yeah. But, which also they didn't end up having it. But
of course.
Yeah, but whatever. Either way, I started reading this book, and I was like, holy fuck, dude. Alex Hermosi is a goddamn genius.
He's pretty smart. Dude, I love that guy. Well, I listen to like every video he makes.
Dude, the way he's compiled all this information. If you haven't read $100 Million Offers, guys, and you're interested in marketing or starting a business, I think that's probably the best business book I've ever read.
It's one of them for me, for sure. I've read a few others that go even more in depth. Yeah. Like Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson.
Is that another really good one?
That guy is a goat. Yeah.
Ready, Fire, Aim.
Ready, Fire, Aim. If you want another good book. But Alex Hermosi, like, he covers offers, and like that's really the foundation of like any business is like what you're offering.
Well, and I think the big thing that is like right now is super trendy is making money online, right? Figuring out some way to do that. And I think that book is a great place to start.
For sure. Yeah, you gotta know what you gotta know what you want to offer to people. And,
right.
And if you're offering something shitty, who's gonna buy that?
Yeah.
So yeah, that book's a great starting point.
It is. Well, I mean, it was just super helpful, especially because at the time where I knew like what it is I wanted to do. And like my goal was I want to show people how to do what I've learned how to do that's changed my life, allowed me to make a bunch of money. Yeah. And I want to be able to show other people how to do this. And then just following the framework that he's created, not only one ensures that my offer is great and that people are going to get value out of it, but that it's going to be able to get into the hands of all the people who need it, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, your offer's sick. I mean, I had no problem being like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely try marketing for that because it's a great offer. I mean, it's less. I mean, guys, if you haven't checked out his course, by the way, let me just tell you now, it's a great deal. $69 for a month, month to month. Like, that's less than a fucking phone bill.
Exactly. Well, and that was the whole goal is I looked at it and especially in this space, like, I know me personally, dude, I've paid people $25,000, paid people $10,000. Like, I've been in things where it's like $6,000 a month. And yes, I've gotten value from all of them, but that's just so inaccessible to most people.
Right.
Now, look, don't get me wrong. If you don't think eventually I'm going to start selling things that cost that amount of money, you're crazy because it will get there.
It will happen.
Because there's a market for it.
Yes,
but I genuinely want to be able to help people. And I know in order to do that, like I need to make it more accessible. And now here's another thing. Here's what I'm going to answer because I know there's some person listening right now. He's like, well, if you want to help more people, you make it fucking free, right? There's some person saying that. And to that I have to say is when people don't pay for things, they don't give a shit about them.
It's so true.
They never take it, they never do anything with it.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I made a video about this the other day. I've, like, a bunch of times, people that, like, I already have a personal relationship with, but, like, sees what I'm doing and they're like, hey, like I'd love to learn, like will you, jump on a call with me? For the longest time I was like, sure. Like if I already knew them, whatever, like cuz here's the thing is I do want to help and whatever. And I'll spend like an hour with these people, telling them exactly what to do, all of this, like giving them like really strong advice that I wish I had when I first started. Every single time I've ever done that, not one of those people have I looked and seen, or not one of those people have texted me that, oh yeah, they're getting deals, they're doing something.
That's just unfortunate, man. Like, yeah, a lot of people take free stuff for granted.
Right.
A lot. I mean, even YouTube, like, there's so many. If you look at like most YouTube videos that are providing a bunch of value, there's like thousands of people who've watched that video. But how many of those actually took action?
Right.
Probably less than 1% of them,
Right.
which is just mind blowing to me.
Well, it is to me too, and I think that that's one thing that like I'm grateful is because I've spent a bunch of money on like education. I also just like I take the free shit as it's out there and I run with it too. Like I know it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I just hired a new mentor, somebody to help me grow the wholesale business even more. And I found him because of all his free content. Like he was putting out a bunch of free stuff, and he's not like big on social media by any means. But I basically saw like he was putting out some videos about like how he gives offers. And I was like, damn, that's really good. And I kind of looked more, and I just started implementing the shit that he was talking about. I was like, fuck it, let's start doing this.
Yeah.
And it started working really well.
Exactly.
And then eventually I reached out to him, and I found out he's fucking crushing it. And I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta pay you. Like you gotta show me how to get to that level. But it's in the beginning is I took what he was giving away for free and I started actually using it. But I feel like most people don't do that.
It's super true. I mean, yeah, that's how I got started in marketing, like e-commerce. I didn't buy a course. I literally just watched YouTube videos from people, and they were so valuable that I was able to scale a brand new e-commerce store with zero knowledge to 6 figures in like a couple of months. So,
But it's because you took action.
Exactly.
It's because you did the things.
I was smart enough, fortunately, to have done that.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's not even smart enough. It's just I feel like some people like, dude, if you want it that bad, you're gonna go do it. And even though it might not be perfect, like that's the thing I say about wholesaling. And I've said this a million different times. It's everything that I can teach you, everything that's out there. It's on YouTube for free right now.
Yeah.
Like you might have to search for it, and you got to dig a little bit more. And there's probably more fluff, and you're gonna spend more time doing it. But it's out there for free right now. Whereas now, here's the thing: is when people pay for something, they have skin in the game, and they're like, "Well, I gotta get this back, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
So then it forces them to do what we're talking about, which is to actually go and implement, go do the work that's required, right?
Yeah, and a lot of time too with the free content, like it's all good, but they can't necessarily ask like very in-depth questions, which is why like a good program like yours is great because you can ask questions and like, not be left in the dust if you have like one thing that's been. You can't really figure out what's stopping you from taking action.
And that is, I think, the biggest reason why people who are seriously invested in like learning how to wholesale and they're wanting to know how to do it. And one of the reasons why they're not able to find success is because they don't ever have somebody like that where they can go and ask a question, these one-off little things, which is why we wanted to, be able to be there for those people where it's like, because these tiny little questions, whatever it is, like it takes me fucking 30 seconds to respond to it, and I know that it can save you just so much time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a huge believer in like learning from people who've made the mistakes first.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna save you time and headache and depression, honestly. Like getting screwed by suppliers like I did, like that was fucked up.
Yeah.
And that set me back, a 6 months at least of my life.
Yeah.
Which is it could have been avoided if I maybe joined like something like yours,
Well, so if you were to like, if you were talking to somebody, some 18-year-old kid, and was like, Majixkai, I'm super interested in marketing. I really like that shit. Like, how do you suggest I go learn about this? What would you tell him to do?
Dude, that's actually crazy you asked, because when I was back home in Hawaii, I linked up with a friend of mine. He's a little bit younger than me, but he asked me the same thing, and I asked him like what his personal goals were first.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are like, oh, I want to do marketing, but it's like your personal goals might not actually align with that. Like what if you got into marketing and you hated it, just because you wanted to make money? Like, yeah, you could do that. But if you really want to get into marketing, test it out, like I say, yeah, reach out. First go on YouTube, start like watching videos from people, and then just see who resonates with you the most and like who really provides the most value. Because most likely, like if they're providing that much value on their videos, they actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, I would say bite the bullet and buy a course that's credible too. You know, from someone that, like I said, is actually knows what they're doing, which
Right.
you can usually tell pretty quick. But
Well, is what I think the biggest thing here is to see multiple people. Like, I know like where some people have gotten bit because, especially like in my industry, like wholesaling, you know, there's a bunch of people out there who they go do a couple of deals, they have the checks, they post about it, and then all of a sudden they feel qualified to teach people how to do it. Or in like marketing and e-com, I know like I was talking about this with Austin Rabin, one of my friends that we had on a couple episodes ago. He was saying, you know, there's some like 16-year-old who they get lucky, they get some store pops off, they get, you know, then they all of a sudden they have a Shopify screenshot of them with like $30,000 worth of sales, and then they think that they're qualified to teach on it. And I think that the way that you avoid that is by looking at multiple people. Like you should find 3 people that you really resonate with, watch all their stuff, and then that's when you make the decision. Like, oh, dude, that's the guy. Like,
yeah, for sure. Instead of just watching one random video,
Right.
You got to get a feel for that person because there's a lot of fake people out there that have achieved some sort of success, but a lot of the times they got lucky or they were just in the right time in the right place.
Yeah.
Which a lot of businesses that do well in the beginning and that have that happen usually end up failing later down the road because they thought they knew everything. They stopped learning, and it just ends up going downhill from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, dude, that's exactly what I did. Like with like RJ, for example. So RJ was somebody that I had seen his videos that he was putting out, and I just like it resonated with him. Like I loved his style, and I was like, dude, I want to learn from that guy. And I'm really glad I did because, you know, he was able to teach me so much. Yeah. But it was because like there was like he was somebody that I just identified with. Like I liked his style. There was that piece of it too. It wasn't just that he, you know, could show me how to wholesale real estate. There were tons of people who could do that. Yeah. But he just had like a personality that I clicked with. I think that's important too. I think if you really want to find someone who's going to take you to that next level, right?
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. It's important to find people who you like and you actually will listen to. Cause I mean, I could hear 2 different people talking about something that, like, you know, like for wholesaling, for example, they both do wholesaling well, but you gotta find someone who you can actually learn from.
Right.
Sometimes some people are not good at teaching what they know already, even though they might be great at it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, I know personally, dude, there are some people out there when I was learning and like they're fucking dorks. Like they're people and like, I mean, that's just what it is. Like they're dorks. And I'm just like, dude, this is fucking boring. Whereas I know the same people that they appeal to, they're going to see my stuff and they're going to be like, fuck that guy. Like, right. And
For sure.
It's differences in opinion and how people are. But I mean, that's what makes it good is that we are all, you know, different. We have different learning styles and we want to learn from different people.
Yeah. No,
right?
I couldn't agree more.
But dude, that's the thing I love about like these kind of industries that we're in, like whether it's wholesaling or marketing or e-com or social media management. There's so many different options nowadays, but it's all these different things you can learn all from YouTube, where it's like we're very lucky to even have those like selections. Whereas like not long ago there was none of that. Like the only way that you were gonna make money was when you went to college and you learned some like.
Yeah, no, you're right. You know, that actually makes me think of something is like right now we live in a time when it's the easiest to make money. And it's funny too, because a lot of people actually complain, oh, like older generations had it better. Like homes were so cheap, all that. But I'm like, but they didn't have like the internet. They didn't have marketing. They didn't have Facebook ads. Like those people are just coming up with like excuses in their mind to feel sorry for themselves. And like, they don't actually realize that they have the power to control their destiny just through, you know, doing some research.
Yeah.
Which our older generations couldn't really do. So.
Oh, dude, this is the best time to be alive, and it's not even close. Like, we have all of the dopest shit, dude. We have the internet where we can go learn literally anything. Like, we have air conditioning, and life has gotten so good that people have got to just they're making up shit to bitch about.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a downfall, low key. Like, if this keeps going on, you know, people are too comfortable. Like, you know, it's happened before in past societies where things got so easy that they started tripping over themselves, and then, you know, they had a downfall, right? Like the Roman Empire,
right?
The you know, like there's many empires in past, you know,
right. Well, things get so good that all of a sudden it's that saying, right? That hard times build strong men create good
Yeah.
times create weak men create hard times.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's this cycle that's just like feels inevitable.
Yeah, and it's just up to you to differentiate like what is like in my control.
Right.
You know, a lot of people just think, "Oh, nothing's in my control. Like this world's crazy." And yeah, it is crazy, but there's things you can do every single day that will change your trajectory in your life.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, look, dude, if you're lucky enough to be born in America, then you have internet access.
Yeah.
Like, and if you have that, like, all it takes is like the want to go learn how to do these things, and then to take the time to sit down and enter in some searches, watch some videos, and seriously learn, and you can go change your life.
Yeah, it's honestly it's simple, but it's so hard to grasp for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It blows my mind, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Right. Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, here's the thing: people can find something to bitch about. People, you know, that there's a certain sect of the population that's gonna be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I just choose to see all the beauty and fun in it, and dude, that's what keeps it exciting.
Yeah, no, that's the way to look at it.
Here's the thing I found, bro. I like this shit is like so much fun to me. Like since I've been digging into this, it's like I can see how this would be very addictive. It's like making offers and like scaling them, and then just like redoing it and learning a little bit every single time.
Well, that's where serial entrepreneurs, that's
Yeah.
where they got their name, you know?
Yeah.
They can't stop.
Right.
There's too many shiny objects now.
Dude, there's so many different things. That's like that's the hardest part I'd say about wholesaling real estate is people get into this, they go get a deal or something, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I got to go try out all these other things because there's so many different ways to make money in real estate, right? All of a sudden they start to learn about wholesaling. Like, well, now I'm gonna go fix and flip. Now I need to go buy rentals. Now I'm gonna have this short-term rental, and then you know we got this, and there's so many different ways where it's like, dude, first thing. Do one thing and do it really well. Get really good at the one.
Yeah.
Like go and once you're doing consistently 10 wholesale deals a month, then you can start learning about some of these other things. Which I mean, I'm getting to the point now where it's like I'm even like hyper on this. Like, I'm just like it's never enough. Like I need to keep scaling wholesaling more. Like I need to be at $1 million a month, and then it's gonna be like I need to be 2 million.
Yeah, it's just
Whatever.
never-ending rat race in your own business, which is dangerous, you know?
Well, here's the thing, but it's fun to me. It's like it's not even about the money. Like, obviously, the money is fucking sick, and I want to get all the luxuries that provides for you.
Yeah.
But it's a game, dude. I was talking about this the other day on TikTok Live. I was saying how somebody asked, like, "Are you successful?" And I was like, "Dude, yeah, I'm the most fucking successful person I know." You want to know why? It's because every single day I'm excited about something. Now, I'm not excited about things in the way that a kid is excited for Christmas or you're excited to go on vacation. I'm excited about something that I got to do, something I'm working towards. And there's multiple things that I'm excited about every single day. Like I'm excited to go to the gym. And it's not because I want to go to the gym. It's because I'm excited for what going to the gym is going to give me. And I'm excited to get to work because I know that I'm working on building things. Then that is fun to look at these end goals I have, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that keeps you successful because it's always something that you're excited to get working on. And I think that's why I like creating these things. And then because it's like I can see the end and it's like, but the fun part is while you're building it. Because once it gets to the end, I know I'm just gonna want to restart and do it again, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you think like that. A lot of people like just have that one goal in mind, right? And they're putting a means to an end, which is actually really dangerous for your own mind. Like I've even done this before. Like when I was in a scarcity mindset way back when I was really broke and I was like, okay, I need to get to this point of like making this much money. And then I did. And then I was like kind of depressed. I was like, is there like anything else here? Like what else
why
is
is
great
this different?
besides me not having to like check how much I'm spending at the grocery store and like things like that, which are nice. But yeah, you gotta definitely enjoy the process.
I'll tell you what,
huge.
bro, that is the best to be right there. Like that's what I've realized is that like the fact that I don't ever have to look at any prices at the grocery store or like once you get to the point where you don't like worry or like you're not concerned about like paying rent or paying your mortgage and you can eat whatever you want, meaning like you can buy whatever the fuck you want at the grocery store, you can go to dinner and you can order whatever you want. Now I'm not saying that every single night you can go to fucking like Ocean 44 and be eating tomahawk steaks every night. But like, you know, for anything, I can eat whatever the fuck I want and I live and like, that's fine. Right.
Yeah.
I think that is like, once you get there, at a certain point, like you're not going to get any more like happiness, real true happiness from money.
Right. I mean, if you just look at like ancient humans, like the only things that we were worried about was food and shelter and like procreating. And like that's really hardwired into our DNA. That hasn't really changed over like the last whatever how many thousands of years that we've been evolving for. But
Yeah.
like, it's actually crazy that, you know, people think that getting to a certain amount of money or like having a certain amount of objects is going to make them like truly happy.
Right.
Because I've experienced it, and it really doesn't. It's matter what all that matters is your family, you know, who you love, what you do for people, like, you know, enjoying the process, building, like, especially as men, like, we really enjoy building. I think that's where we get a lot of fulfillment from.
Definitely.
And, you know, if you stop building, you know, let's say you want to retire when you're 25, I think you'll just be super depressed at some point.
No,
and then you're going to go
fuck
back to
that.
building eventually.
That's what
Yeah.
I've been saying is like people are like, oh, I want to retire, this, that. And it's like, and then what, bro? What are you going to do? Like, you fucking, like, bro, there's only, like, you can only play so much golf. Like, you can only play so much video games. Like, you need to have that thing that you're looking forward to.
For sure.
Right? And
Yeah.
which for me is the building thing. And I think you're absolutely right where like, I don't know, I'd be hard pressed not to say all men, right? Like I feel like pretty much that's a universal thing. Like 100% of guys, like you are going to get fulfillment from building something, whether it's a company or something with your hands or whatever it may be. I think, you know, you're probably different people are inclined to go different ways with that, but
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just, but what it comes down, if you break it down, like it's not just building, it's just like growth in general, like growing, you know, like you and I, we love going to the gym because we're growing personally, you know, physically, like it just makes you feel good, like kind of, you know, happy. So,
dude, something I was thinking about is, so like obviously our time on Earth, like it's one thing is guaranteed, like you're not here forever, right? You got a limited time. And one thing I was thinking about is I was like, when I when I die, like is there gonna be anything that I was the best at during my time? And it's like right now at the trajectory I'm going, the answer is probably no. Like I'm not going to be the very best wholesale. You know, how do you measure that? But the best wholesaler or the best bodybuilder, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about that. I was like, all right, well, why am I saying that? Like, I need to figure that out. Like, there's something that I want to be the best at. Now I haven't exactly figured out what that means or what that looks like, but it's something I've been like thinking about really in my mind is like, what am I going to be the best at? Because there needs to be something
that's
that I'm
interesting.
gonna pick there.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think legacy is also another big thing that like humans in general really strive for. Because you know, after we die, it's like fuck. Alex says this like no one's gonna remember you.
Yeah,
in,
like after
100 years.
three generations, like you're done.
Yeah, so I mean that's what motivated a lot of ancient kings. Like they built pyramids, they built all these crazy empires because they wanted to leave a legacy behind them. Like and yeah, that comes down to your personal preference. I think some people's legacy is like just for surfing example, like oh I just want to catch like the biggest waves like in my community, or I wanna I don't know. There's a lot of different things you can strive for, but yeah, I mean, some people's are definitely bigger than others.
Dude, I feel like the surfing community is like the coolest thing ever. Like, I was in San Diego for a wedding, and every morning, like, I was seeing like all of these people. They were just like squatting up and going to the beach to go surf, and like there were groups of older people and then younger people, but there are all these groups, and like you could tell like this is just part of their like routine. This is part of their tradition. This is what they do. They wake up in the morning and they go surf. And I was like, that's the dopest shit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that I think a lot of people would enjoy doing if they got the chance to do it and like actually live that lifestyle. But some people, I don't know, some people hate the ocean and like hate getting wet and all that, cold or whatever. But it's a great community for sure.
I mean, that's like when I look at like, you know, something that I'd really like is I'd like to get the opportunity to really see what that's like. I mean, I went surfing one time in Hawaii. I got like a lesson or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was kind of bullshit. Like I didn't really, you know, but I want to seriously learn how to do it and just kind of get to experience some of that. I think something about, dude, just regularly being outside, being in like salt water like that, being in the ocean, like that shit's got to be so good for you.
It's dude, I swear, like the happiest I ever been was when I lived by the ocean. Like, and I'm in here in Arizona, and there's like a lot of great things about this place, but I'm you know, I grew up in Hawaii, so that'll always be my home. But dude, it's actually there's actually a study that said like some crazy percentage of people that live near the water actually live longer than people who don't.
Well, I mean, dude, look at the population density of pretty much every single area on Earth. It's most densely populated near the water.
Yeah.
Like, that's where people are like, yeah, I need to be fucking here. Now, I'm sure there's other utility reasons for that, but there's something to be said about like just a fucking vibe you catch from being next to the ocean.
For sure. It's a vibe. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. It's just a straight vibe. Like,
Dude.
really fun time.
You know, I don't know what it is. I've gotten a lot more spiritual over the past like couple years, and I still haven't figured it out yet. But
we're young, so we
yeah.
got time.
Well, I'm starting to notice more things like that. You know,
Yeah,
like
feel
what we're
that.
saying, like the vibe of being around the ocean. Like, why is that? Like, what's going on there? Like, why does that make you feel different, feel good? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, from my experience of being near the ocean most of my life, like a lot of it, when I go surfing, for example, like something I really notice is like my ability to stay really present. Like all those like thoughts and noises in my head, like really quiet down.
You're only focused on the one thing at hand, the surfing.
The waves around you, like the animals, like fish swimming, like it just puts you in such a state of mind that's so peaceful. And
It's like a flow state.
yeah, I mean, for sure, flow. I mean, there's obviously parts where you're like, you have to be patient with, you know, waves or, you know, kooks or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just like when you're having a great time out there, like the best way I can describe it is just like peaceful.
Yeah.
Very like, you feel very good out there.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that, like, while I'm thinking about it, that I feel like people are chasing is anything that makes you like forget or stop watching the clock, right? Like whether it is you're surfing, you're out there in the ocean, where you're just doing what it is you're doing, but you're not sitting there thinking. Like when you're surfing, you're not like, oh shit, like and like whatever, like I gotta fucking do this thing, that email is like later today or whatever it is, right? You're
Not
just doing
really.
you're just doing what you're doing.
Yeah, unless I'm like bored out there. If it's
Yeah.
like I like surfing bigger waves usually because like it's more energy moving around. Like I'm not thinking about those things. But
Yeah.
no, I'm just going out there to have fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's all about fun out there. I think like, you know, just having a good time with your
Definitely.
friends, laughing,
Good
catching sick
fucking
waves.
Good fucking vibe, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Majixkai, where can people? You've been getting on the content game. I've been seeing it.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make some more content. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are the best places for people to look at what you're putting out there?
Oh well, I mean, you could follow me on my Instagram. It's just my name.
You got it. Yeah, you got to spell that one
Yeah,
out.
it's Majixkai. It's just my name, Majixkai. Yeah, it's the best place right now. I've been starting to post a little on TikTok. It's also just my name. Yeah, it's probably the best ways to find me.
Absolutely, dude. You got some good stuff out there about marketing, about business, current events, things that are going on, some really quality stuff. I highly recommend you guys go check that out. Guys, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this. If you are watching this on YouTube, take a second to leave a like. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below. Guys, if you're interested in learning more about Wholesaling 101, there's also a link below where you can check that out. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, I would so appreciate it if you would take 30 seconds right now to write a review on the show. It helps me learn what we're doing good, what we need to do better, and it will help other people be able to learn and grow with us. So I'd appreciate it if you take the time to do that. Guys, if you have something else I want to say, if you guys have any guests who you would like to see featured on the show, I'm always super interested to see who you guys would like to see me interview. Please send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll reach out to them and see if we can get them on. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the next one.